it's Nim or Nimicry if you're feeling professional, and welcome to the YouTube video. Now today, we are going to be talking about a raid lockout change and some other patch notes in Sword of Legends Online. But before we do that, if you enjoy this content, why not hit subscribe and ring that notification bell to stay up to date? I was recently, thanks to you guys, able to apply for the YouTube partnership program, so here's hoping. Also, on screen right now, you should see the names of my patrons, those immortal heroes that they are. If you want to join that list, then go to patreon.com/Nimicry and sign up. Without further ado, let's get started. We've switched to the patch notes. Now, something I'm going to say as a longtime MMORPG player, you want to make sure that you pay attention to the patch notes, because that's going to tell you what's available, what you can do, important changes, and yes, sometimes some MMOs have been guilty of not putting things in patch notes, but reading the patch notes is a great first step to understanding what you're going to do. So our first patch notes, of course, is patch notes, first, one boss encounters. The patch version 1.0.5 will be applied to our servers on August 12th, which is tomorrow, tomorrow from the day of recording, today when the video drops. So enjoy the patch, and of course, I'll be at work by the time the patch is live because I'm an engineer during the day and an entertainer at night, which will bring 2 additional raids for up to 20 players to challenge. Now, I love the idea of one boss raid. Because you get in there, it's an alternate source of gear. It can help overcome any type of, let's say you got RNG, bad RNG on your side. Now, I do want to mention in the subject of RNG, guys, make sure you're doing your blue quests to increase your fortune. And if you don't know what your fortune is, open your characters. Let's actually go take a look at that fortune real quick then, so we can do that. So we press C, right? We go to show all stats, and we scroll down to fortune. Fortune. Fate improves drop rates and item identification. So, higher fortune means more items drop, better quality items drop. Increase your fortune. And in order to do that, let's go to a map here real quick. Let's go to the world map. I'll go to the Bashan Plateau. Blue. Do those blue quests. They stack for a while, so try to do them a little bit and maybe raid log your main before heading into your raid. So, do the quests, get the fortune buff, come on in, and get as much loot as you can. Because here's the thing, it's an MMORPG, and I want you to be as successful as possible. Alright, back to the patch. Waves in a Tempest. The entrance teleportal to the raid is in the Shanghua grasslands, right at the barracks shipport. Both an easy and normal difficulty are added, each featuring one boss encounter to challenge between 10 and 20 players. Wu Kang, standing before the entrance teleportal, will offer you a quest to go kill Zhigong, the boss in this raid. Now, again, some people correct my Chinese pronunciation in the comments. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. My Chinese, as you have heard, is non-existent, but it is not out of apathy or malice. It is just, Chinese is a very hard language to learn. There's so much to learn in Chinese. And we have easy. It unlocks Sunday, August 15th at 12 server time. You can loot once per week. Resets Sunday, 6 p.m. server time. Recommended item level is 50. That's easy to get. Literally, just run all the normal dungeons, and bam, you're good to go. Drops Mysterious Turtle mount and collectibles and pet items. So cool, new mount for our farming friends. And of course, you can actually automatically map make for the easy, and that's good. I think it's good to be able to automatically match make for the easy raid, because of the fact that it's meant to be cleared, right? Item level 50 is below what you could max out before the Jade Palace. So that's meant to be just, you go in, lay down, and then you hopefully get a turtle. And then when your guildmate, who's, like, you've been farming it for a couple of weeks, and then your guildmate's like, oh yeah, whatever, I guess I'll join, I'll help out, I'm free. And then they get the turtle, you're like, guildmate! I can't say that I've had that from personal experience. I can't, but, maybe. Just maybe. Look into my eyes and tell me if I'm traumatized. Alright! Back to, now, of course, we have normal. It unlocks Thursday, August 12th, so tomorrow, at 12 p.m. Server time. You can receive loot once per boss per week. Resets Thursdays at 6 p.m. 6 server time. Recommended item level is 60, which you can get from running all of your hard mode dungeons. So if you're still not doing that, find a guild, help out. I'm in Starlight, so if you like what I do, I know our main tank Noble is always looking for stuff, so keep that in mind, and looking for good players. 1 second. It drops level 75 gear, PvE Seal Stones 3, Weapon Embracer Talisman, level 2 recipes, Exquisite Pork with Fish Spice recipe, and a few other things there. And this does not have any automatic matchmaking. And I like that for right now. I'd like to think that maybe once we get to higher gear levels and a little bit down the line, we can open up automatic matchmaking. But for the raid to be new, I think it's good and healthy for the community and the guilds to work together to decide, okay, we're getting 10 people together. Let's go club this guy down. Let's dodge the mechanics. Big sword, swing, swing, and do our thing. Or more accurately, bards pluck cool notes, freeze things, and your Spearmaster tanks do the damn thing. Alright, the next one is the Horror of Haishu. The entrance teleport of this raid is in Haishu Village in the Comet Stream area. Both an easy and normal difficulty are added, each featuring one boss encounter to challenge between 10 and 20 players. Wick of the Turquoise Lantern, standing before the entrance teleporter, will offer you a quest to go kill Q Ying, the boss of this raid. Now, something I want to mention here is, one-boss raids usually are arena fights and not a lot of trash. And here's the cool part about that is, not a lot of trash! So for long-time MMORPG players, you might have been in raids that have trash after trash mobs after trash mobs. And depending on the game you've played, you may have farmed those trash mobs for drops. But just being able to get in, get to the boss and be like, alright, let's put all our progress on this boss. I've already killed normal enemies. I understand that you have henchmen. They're not important, boss friend. It's you. I'm coming after you. Whoosh! Big sword comes out. I play as a berserker, so, you know, big fan of that. And sometimes I'm even good. Alright, so of course, the easy unlocks on Sunday, August 15th at 12 server time. You can receive loot, again, once per boss per week. Resets Sundays at 6 p.m. server time. Recommended item level is 50. Drops the collectibles and pet-related items. So, again, for your collectors, hey, get in there, get the stuff, knock it out, and matchmaking, again, is possible. Which we've already been over. It's good because it's there for collectibles. It's not there for gear upgrades. You might, and, you know, maybe learn the fight. Of course, normal. Unlocks Thursday, August 12th at 12 p.m. server time. You can receive loot once per week per boss. Again, recommended item level is, again, 60. Drops 75 gear, PvE seal stones, weapons, bracer talismans, recipes, exquisite salted duck, etc. Now, and of course, you can't matchmake. You have to manually form groups, which is good for, again, the cohesion of guilds and pug groups and things like that. And honestly, it's not, getting through the first raid wasn't too bad, so you should be able to get through it. Now, we've got 3 sources of level 75 gear, in addition to, there's going to be some world events and such. That means that it's getting easier and easier to gear up. That means it's getting easier and easier to get those extra parchments. That means it's getting easier and easier to get on to catch up. And more importantly, something I want to mention, as a person I played solo in the alpha, I played solo in the beta, I've played solo at launch, and currently during live. This is probably the fastest leveling up system I've seen in any MMORPG. Hands down. So if you think you're behind, if you think, oh, it's too late to start, I'm not going to catch up, a guild's not going to find me, trust me. Trust me, you will level up super quick. And any guild worth its salt is interested in taking players that try and players that want to improve. So just keep that in mind. So if you're put off by, like, oh, there's already content out, I'm behind, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Game's been out for a little over a month. Okay. Now, in the open world, starting with the reset of Sunday, August 15th, the following additions are being made. Bounty Hunter. For the weekly Blood Ruvia bounty fight, there is now a chance to receive a level 75 pants, as well as the Blight Beast's eye. Now, you may remember the Blight Beast from Haotsung, killing it with the Stranger's sword and then disappearing into, I don't know, Evil Portal. Ooh, Evil Portal. It was evil because it was purple. Well, what about my Reaper friends, right? My Reaper friends are good. This guy named Zol. He interrupts everything. I mean, literally, as many interrupts as he can. I've seen him interrupt almost the whole boss fight by himself. And he's a Reaper. Does a lot of burst damage. Kind of stealthy. Good guy. I like Zol. Good guy to sneaky a drink. And as a berserker, well, wine helps the key flow, right? And of course, Envoy of the Turquoise Lantern. For the weekly Turquoise Lantern Spirit boss battle fight, there is now a chance to receive a level 75 top as well as Torn Robe of the Turquoise Lantern. So, cosmetics, and of course, a level 75 item. So again, that's 2 additional sources, starting on Sunday, August 15th. So get groups together, knock them out, it's gonna be awesome. That you don't even have to be in a raid for that. So that's 2 level 75 items you don't have to raid for. You can just be in a group. So imagine being, like, let's say fresh student 1, and you help kill, boom, a level 75 piece of gear. That's gonna be miles ahead of anything you got, and you're already, you know, you could potentially be best in slot. Of course, the item's weekly limits. Mysterious Parchment current is increased to 18 per week. Used to be, I believe, 16. So that's something there. And then, of course, the Mysterious Parchment is used to craft items using your pet. You feed your pet Soul Key, Mysterious Parchment, as well as some gold. And I believe some gold. Yeah, it's gold. It's been a while since I've crafted something. And that will get you, and you can choose an item. Basically, you use that to round out your gear if RNG has not been kind to you. And from some of the comment sections I've read, RNG is not often kind. But, what are you going to do? Now, in Chinese dietetics, there are 2 new recipes. The exquisite pork with fish spice. I know I can talk. Physical strength plus 34, magic power plus 34, haste plus 34, physical defense level 11, and magic defense level plus 11. And of course, exquisite salted duck, physical defense level 8, magic defense level plus 8, mastery 34, and crit resistance 45. So my good friend Noble will definitely be going for the exquisite salted duck, and our DPS will, and heals will probably go for the exquisite pork with fish spice. Here's the big news, guys. Here's the big news. Raid entries. You can now enter raids as often as you wish. Where's my applause? After having cleared it once per week. Similarly to our dungeons, you won't be getting any rewards for clearing it a second time the same week, but you will be able to train and help others with this change. You'll get the Instance Escort buff automatically as a max level player, which enables the above behavior. Now, little side note here. There have been some people who told me that, oh, just go get the Jade Helper buff. Just go get the Mentor thing. Just go do this. And I was like, no. You see, a buff is great. It solves a symptom of bad game design, but it doesn't correct the bad game design. Because in order to get the Mentor buff, you had to run with new players. But what happens when new players kind of trail off, as it happens with any MMORPG? Then it gets harder and harder and harder and harder to access that buff. That's why I was like, just change the raid lockout to a dungeon lockout, or as I said, go from an instance lock to a loot lockout system. And lo and behold, almost as if I was clairvoyant in good game design, Gameforge does it. Now, obviously, they didn't listen to me. Look at me. I'm just some dude on the internet with a camera. And not even a very popular one at that. But I do have a lot of subscribers now, or a lot more subscribers now, thanks to the people of this community. So, thank you for that. Anyways. They decided to add that Instance Escort buff, and that is one of the best changes that have happened in this game. I honestly am so happy for that. And I am willing to forgive the fact that I've lost my 200 gold over that, because that means that they care about the community, and they want people to keep playing. Which, honestly, it's a good game. Sword of Legends Online is a good game. I love the Berserker. I feel when I drink that whole flask of wine, I'm just like, all right, let's spin and stab. That feels meaty, weighty. I feel like an immortal hero. And I'm sure other players have similar feelings about stuff. So yeah, the game is good. And I'm glad that they did that. That right there shows that they care about the health and long-term play of the game. Now we have Swordmaster Adventure, added the option to replay specific cutscenes through the new tab in Swordmaster Adventure. Cultivation Weekly Event, the quest Group Expedition has been updated to require clearing after August 12th, either of the 2 easy versions of the new raid. And then, of course, there were some bug fixes. Fixed some length and overlap issues with voiceovers in the cutscene. And listen, we've had some issues, especially right outside of the Heavenly Ridge Village. The dialogue did cut off a little bit. Listen, it's not a perfect game. Ports are hard. I get it. I wasn't knocking them for that, but I'm glad that they're addressing it, because it adds a more polished feel. Adapted some PvP UI in the character menus. Talisman recipes no longer appear with broken display in the cooking menu. Again, good. You want to make... That could be very confusing. Like, why am I frying up a talisman? I thought I enchanted this. But, hey, you know what? Final Fantasy gets away with it. I can cook up an airship part. Quite literally. Item level 75 rings and amulets now also give mysterious parchments when being used for developing your pet, which is good because every item at max level should give mysterious parchments when developing your pet, because it's max level. So if you give it to your pet, odds are you've already got one. So let's help fill the gaps in the gear. Let's give players the best chance at getting gear so that then they can just focus on the content. Kind of like how you don't want to spend time as a player getting to the content. You want to spend time as a player doing the content. That's why having long quest chains can sometimes backfire. Now, having a rich narrative, of course, is useful, and some MMOs do it well, and some MMOs don't. I think Sword of Legends Online does it pretty well. But if everything has the step 1, and then the 2, and then the 3, and then the 4, and then you get to a little thin, and you got to go back. And it can be very off-putting to certain people, especially those who want to get through and be like, man, I want to kill the Jade Palace. I want to kill the Tide place. I see there's horrors there. Well, I'm going to go slay those horrors. And then, of course, Apprentice reward for reaching PvE gear level 60 can now be claimed. So that's good for your Master Apprentice system, which can help out. Let's go back to the game here, and we will, of course, wrap up the video. All right, we went over all of the patch notes, and I gave my commentary on what I thought was important and certain things I glossed over. For example, I'm not much of a PvPer, but if it helps the PvP players, then I am all for it. Have that UI. Have that stuff that you want. Make things better for more players. I was extremely happy with the raid lockout change because I did a video on that, and you can see it on the channel. I was happy that they're adding 2 new one-boss raids because that gives people more options to get things done. That's what we want. I'm excited for that. So I want to thank everybody who decided to watch this video. Now, if you like this video, why not hit subscribe and click that bell for notifications so you'll stay up to date on everything I upload. YouTube will sometimes even show things without that, but if you want to stay up to date, you can do that. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at Nimicry. I'll answer the best I can. We can also find me in the Discord. There's a link down below if you want to chat. That's my personal Discord, and I do my best to stay up to date. And of course, for those immortal heroes, there is a Patreon. Though you'll see the names of those immortal heroes on the screen. And I want to highlight a special patron who I forgot to include last week. That was my bad. Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Now, Prime Minister Boris Johnson happens to be a patron of mine. Is he the real Boris? I've been on stream with him, and he's pretty convincing. So, we'll throw an image of screen up of Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Thank you, Prime Minister, for helping out small American content creators. Truly, your humanitarian efforts, outside of impregnating other women besides your wife, have been, great. That being said, of course, guys, my name was Nim, or Nimicry if you're feeling professional. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.